Hello, white bread, and welcome to your deck review. For those of you joining us for the first time on YouTube, this is a series where instead of hating on your choice of commander, I will instead lovingly caress your commander deck's weird little PP. Your PP being your premise and your practicum. Your premise is the idea behind your deck. It's what you want it to do. For this deck, it is ramp sky high and then slam expensive creatures all game. Obligatory 6/7. I know you told me not to in the primer. Eat shit, okay? Eat shit. You are never getting your money back. And so we're trying to make a comfort deck. We're trying to make a deck that is just going to work. We have a ton of ramp to get to Yurlok on turn 3, and then hopefully on turn 4, Yurlok is going to slam some massive threat that helps us take over the game. And what we want is just an outside perspective. If there's anything we're missing for top end of bracket 2, but they want it to be able to participate in bracket 3, maybe, swapping in a game changer or 3. So for idea, I think this is perfect. 3 turns is roughly the amount of garbage time that every deck has in bracket 2, and even many bracket 3 decks have that before they're starting to put together something really, really scary. I would say the thing that is likely going to be the biggest separator between bracket 2 and bracket 3 is interaction that just plain works. I gave this list a once over. I saw a ton of cards that I love. I saw very few cards that I have any real issue with, but notably, like at no point can you ever just go like, ah, shucks, everything's really gone wrong for me. I guess I'll just cast this removal spell. Everything is predicated upon we have achieved the 2-mana ramp into Yurlok, into Imagination Ladder, which I do think is very likely, right? Like I don't think we're um I think it's very unlikely this deck ever gets hard shut out of the game. But I do think this like on rail strategy, that lack of flexibility can get you into trouble in bracket 3. I don't think you're ever taking this up into bracket 4, but like, God fucking forbid you run into a combo player, right, man? So I'm trying to think of a few pieces that would be useful. And I just want to, oh, right, sorry. Let me read Yurlok so we all know that I understand what the commander does. He's a mana dork. He brings back mana burn. We're not doing that. We don't care about that. I'm not going to recommend any changes for that. All we care about is he nets you 2 mana because you can spend 1 to add 3. You do give it to every player, but you're going to do it on your main phase 1. That might be relevant. Actually, it probably will be relevant for people using removal on you. That would be the number one thing I would look out for. So if I was going to suggest one thing for this deck wholeheartedly, it would be uh more stuff like this. More stuff that can do recursion. I think this Shieldred is great for those of you who can't read fucking Phyrexian. It makes your opponent sack a creature on each of their upkeeps, and you reanimate a creature from your graveyard on each of your upkeeps. And so there are other, good things like that, like Metamorphosis Fanatic. I also think a couple lifelinkers would be really, really good for this deck. A thing big stompy players tend to underrate is how much damage you will take when the creature proletariat board wipes you and then rises up against you and beats the holy fuck out of you. So in addition to considering Metamorphosis Fanatic, in no small part, because I'm trying to make sure you can do things that are less than 6 mana, holy fucking god, Whip of Erebos. Low-key a game winner every time I've played it. I know it's not enough. I know it's not enough mana to fit into your accursed 6/7 plan. But you have a lot of big creatures. All of them having lifelink will give you a lot of resiliency into strategies that are trying to nickel and dime you. So things like the Spellslinger player you don't quite want to knock out because you think they're holding an Aetherize for if you swing at them. The Aristocrats player who you don't want to swing into until you have Trample because you're worried you're just going to get like Blardist to death. Giving everything lifelink, like even lifelink on your 4/4 Vigilant Commander, you're not sad about. And being able to bring back your creatures, even if it's just one time only. So many of your creatures have good ETBs, have good attack triggers. Getting one turn of them back on the battlefield with haste is actually going to be huge. So with that said, let me playtest this joint a little bit and see how it feels. So We're gonna get a Surveil land. Oh, we would actually have to mull this hand, because we missed... You have so much 2-mana ramp, I just assumed it would always be there. So free mull. We don't get it. We go down to 6. God hates you. You, like, I want to be clear, guys. They have enough 2-mana ramp. We should have seen it by now. Go down to 5. What did you do? Who at Moxfield did you piss off? We go down to 4. Dude, the ramp is in the deck, right? There it is. 1 land. You scooped this game. Dude, guys, this is 40 lands. This is 40 lands. 16 pieces of the relevant ramp. I am truly astounded. I am well and truly astounded. My one recommendation on the ramp side is, I know you're doing 2-mana ramp because you're like, there's not a reason to do 1-mana ramp because I can't get him out earlier than turn 3 anyway. I would consider swapping out some of these that aren't that great with 1-mana ramp options, just to potentially, like, leave yourself open to top decking the 1-mana ramp option in a spot where it is relevant, you know, to get to casting something that's 7 instead of casting something that's 6. And so the things I don't think are quite good enough, I don't think the 1+1/+1 counter is good enough from Animal Attendant to beat Birds of Paradise. I don't think I actually do think Farseek's good enough, because I really want you to have lands that can't get board wiped. I don't love Goblin and Archimancer because of how disastrously high your curve is. Goblin and Archimancer and cost reducers in general, fucking massive when you are casting multiple spells a turn. I think even with your ramp package, even with your commander being a dork, it's gonna take so long for 1 mana less to be the thing that gets you to double spelling, that I just frankly wouldn't do it. Or I would be inclined to, even though it fucks up your curve a little bit, like Semblance Anvil. I give up one of my incredibly expensive threats to make every incredibly expensive threat 2 less for the rest of the game. This will actually move us to double spelling things like, I go Raph and Mikey for 5, I go Plarg and Nasari for 3. That's only 8 mana, right? That's about how much you were going to lay out for Raph and Mikey in the first place. So I like the ferocious ones. I think the ones where the upside is not quite good enough for them to beat either being 1-mana ramp or 3-mana ramp with better upside is Zyrtah Druid, Goblin and Archimancer, Animal Attendant. I think these could become either 1-mana ramp, which for this deck doesn't seem... I still like the idea of 1-mana ramp in case you ever go like, you know, okay, I play Erd Heirloom into Llanowar Elves. I do Nature's Lore into Llanowar Elves. Sometimes just like getting the extra body on the field for cheap can matter. Or Semblance Anvil or Gwenna Eyes of Gaia. I think Gwenna Eyes of Gaia, you're probably happy to see at any point during the game. Again, I'm thinking about how in God's name do we get you to double spelling? So let's do a playtest where maybe God doesn't hate you. All right, here we get the ramp, we get a card draw engine, we get what should have happened the whole time with this deck. So we go Orchard, who cares? Fanatic of Ronos. Bam, Yurlok. And we're in the dream scenario where now we have 1, 2, 3, 7. We have 9 mana to spend. All right, forget that shit I said about double spelling. We probably do Vaultborn Tyrant. Just let him know what's happening. We do Vaultborn Tyrant for some ungodly amount of mana. I think we can commit Bloom Tender to field 2. And now Bloom Tender will tap for 3. You have Rurik Thar. That was gonna be I've missed, like, every single thing that was in my head is like, "Oh, this would be really good, especially as you go up in brackets." You fucking have it, you rat bitch. Rurik Thar is dope here. So we go 4, 5, 6, 7 with 1 mana floating, and I go Rurik Thar, I draw a card off Vaultborn Tyrant. Use the floating mana, get 3 here. If I wanted to be a bitch, I should have just played Thorn Mammoth to light all this off. But you know, I can Gear Hulk. I don't know if I love Wound Reflection. I do think it's a good accelerant. It does make, you know what? Even as I say it, I'm coming around to it. Do I want it to be Bloodletter? Is that what's in my head? No, this is only during your turn. I don't want it to be Bloodletter. You know what? Actually, beautiful. Because this causes all the things that are like symmetrical group slug effects to no longer be symmetrical, which is hot as fuck. So what do we have covered? If people are casting non-creature spells, they're taking damage. If we get board wipe from this position, boy, boy fucking howdy. What can we do in these colors to help with that? We could play the obvious things, like Heroic Intervention. We could play the fun thing, which is Tybalt's fucking Trickery. I would recommend this card to put into your interaction suite, because then that way, if you have a creature that is not really great for whatever you need to do, you can say, you know what? Fuck this guy. I would like him to be different. I might even recommend bringing in the Glorious Chaos Warp for the same reason, because you have a lot of creatures. They're all a lot of fun. I don't think they're all relevant all of the time, right? Especially after, like, because everything in your deck is so big. So if we go into what is interaction that's just going to work, or so help me God, what you do need, interaction I can play on someone else's turn when I have like 3 mana left, right? When I have enough mana that I can cast my big thing, and I have some left over, but if anybody else tries to do anything to me, I'm gonna get totally fucked. And so I don't want you to play things like Heroic Intervention. I don't want you to play things that are just stone cold normal and don't do anything exciting. But I do think it would be fun to play things like Tybalt's Trickery, where you can counterspell a board wipe from an opponent, or you can counterspell your own creature to get something, or your own spell to get something better, you know? Maybe you go like, Nature's Lore, I have enough. Let's see what we get. Rhino! Or I think we have to mill at least one. Snowball Stampede! Like, all of your spells are so fun. I don't think anything can go wrong by you trading them out a little bit. And what else could we... Let me see if there's a tag for Tybalt's Trickery, because that's really the only type of thing I would want to soup up. Mill opponent. Go to Chaos Warp. This is not sparking joy. Let's do removal permanent. And let's also look at O-Tag Polymorph. Okay, we have Wild Magic Surge, but this is only for opponents. We have Vivictus Asmati if you want to be a freak. I think this is a little too resolution heavy for the type of, like, comfort pick we're trying to do. You want to be a little brave? You want to be a little brave, brother, man? I think this is an actively bad card. I do think in your deck, when the curve is so high, like, you don't even, if I'm going to be real, you don't even break parity on this shit, man. Like, because you're going to, like, on average, you're going to replace the 7-drop with another 7-drop. But I do think it's kind of a funny time. So I'd consider something like that. What else do we need? Do we have any trouble closing the games out? I really doubt we do, because we just have such We have so many things that are so big and huge. I have Zeotor's Proving Ground in my hand, so I'm just not worrying about fixing. We go Yurlok, turn 4, so 5, 6, 7. Ha 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 ha. Okay, Combustion Man low-key sucks. I was gonna say America low-key sucks, but I don't think she does. I think we play America. And then this is where, we would kind of like to have a couple pieces kicking around of reasonable interaction, because we have access to 7 mana on this turn. We're going to commit 5 of it to one big spell. And we're not going to have anything to do. We only have the one ramp thing. And so pulling back a few of these really, really big things for other 1 to 3 mana supporting cast options, I think would be good, even in the world where you just wanted to do, I'm always going to tap out on my turn. I don't want to play the instant speed game. I think there are still going to be a ton of situations where ramp is not the only viable thing to do, and you will have, we're going to do mana value less than or equal to 3. See if there's any big hitters I'm forgetting. Certainly not Blood Artist. I mean, fucking Ewit, dog. Fucking Ewit, especially for things like Sylvala Stampede, for any of these like big card draw spells we have, like Turn Timber Symbiosis, or if any of your really important guys get removed. Facebreaker would be interesting, but I think the question's always like, what the fuck do I cut for Facebreaker? And it's really hard to come up with an answer there. Rex Sage would be another one of those like, hey, this is just gonna work. Did I not hit my 2 mana ramp? Did somebody counterspell my commander because they know what the fuck my deck is on? Rex Sage will just do the damn thing I need it to do. Sylvala is making me think greedy thoughts. You could do Op Agent. You know what? Genuinely, this might be the game changer you have strapped to your thigh, because I think if there was one type of strategy that was going to beat you, it would probably be the combo decks that are searching their libraries. So I'd maybe have this. I would have like Worldly Tutor. I think another really good 3-drop that we're currently missing is 6. Again, as you can see, I am deeply, deeply afraid of you getting board wiped when all of the ramp we have committed is creature based, and then not having another ramp spell in our hand and not having any way to sort of build ourselves back up. We certainly don't give a fuck about Harmonic Prodigy. We don't give a fuck about making 1/1s. I don't think we care about Mossborn Hydra antics. I don't think we care about modified creatures enough to greed for this as another ramp piece. I don't think we're doing any other counters. Evo Witness is catching my eye because, again, holy fuck, do I want you to be able to recur stuff. Not confident a haste enabler is so necessary that you need to be playing Crashing Drawbridge. If you have to play Spore Frog, like if you ever feel like you're in a position to play Spore Frog, set the fucking deck on fire. Dark Confidant would literally kill you. We definitely don't want to do that. You know, Invasion of Ikoria might be a really good one to put in. This might be a good thing. It's not a game changer. Might be a good thing to staple to your thigh for those bracket 3 games, because again, you normally like the playtest we saw you were getting a little bit more mana than you needed, so maybe that little bit more mana than you needed, instead of spending it on a different spell, we use it to tutor out what is the exact right thing. I need to fuck the guy who's in a really scary situation. I'm going to have a pretty easy time flipping this battle, and then Zalortha is going to make me have a pretty easy time winning this game, even in the face of people who can chump block. I don't think you need Glissa or anything like that. Goldvein Hydra would be pretty good. I fucking hate the Hydra players, but I think this works really well with your sort of scaling mana situation. It's always going to be good. You just don't know how good it's going to be. And then when it dies, it pays for your next, like, 3 fucking creatures. Ooh! Hey, come on. Come on. I know you want to be 6-7ing as much as you can. Please. If you add his mana cost and his ability cost together, you get 6, and then tapping is basically a mana, you get 7. Please. Please, I'm so afraid of what happens to you if you get blasphemous acted, brother. I care about, please, I want you to succeed. I'm begging you. And so stuff that I think is on the lower end of positive effectiveness for you that you could swap out for these things. Alexios, he's great. I personally don't like him, but if you like him, keep him. Alexios, Combustion Man, Karavek, just because he's so expensive and does not have any guaranteed value associated with him. Oh, Screamer Killer's great. That's really fun. It is one of the weaker ones because you have to cast another spell to get value. But it is really fun. Great. This is awesome because you are going to cast it, but we can't cast it until late. I think that's fine. I like all the rest of these a lot. God, I really love Twilight Prophet and the fucked up curve that you have. I think Thickest in the Thicket is good for you. I think a lot of these are like, it's hard to pick out any one worst card, but I do think any number of these could go for something like Felden, something like Ewit. If you wanted to play something like Goldvein Hydra, I think that would also be quite nice. God, Rhino's so cute. Rhino's so fucking cute. Dragonhawk will do 1,000,000 damage. Yeah, I think this is super well built. I think based on that first playtest, you are 100% cursed. Something's up. You got to make that right with Zeus. You can't make that right with me. I have those minor tweaks for things that I know break the ladder a little bit, but I think they break the ladder for good reason. And then, please fucking go. I'm begging you. I'm fucking begging. I'm not on my hands and knees, but I'm 10 toes right now. Begging you to run something like this, or Whip of Erebos, or whatever. Game Changer should be Worldly Tutor. Are you a gambling man? Oh, you can be a demonic tutoring man. Fuck gamble. Sorry, you get good Game Changers. You want to play around bracket 3? Don't do a third Game Changer. Put Dark Rid in. Put Dark Rid in. Be an adult. All right? Be a little freak. Have a good day. Deck's great.